Peter, there's a lot of voters out there, especially on the independent side, and I think half of the voters in the general election will be independent voters. They're not married to the Democratic Party. Some of them like what Bernie has to say, but if it's Hillary Trump, how many of them are we going to see jump ship and support the anti-establishment guy?
That's a heck of a question, and I'm sure it's something that the Trump people, and perhaps even the Bernie Sanders people, certainly the Clinton people, are asking themselves right now. The Clinton people are definitely probing the depth of how upset Democratic voters are with the status quo. She has obviously started to, as she's gotten herself kicked in the butt by Bernie Sanders, and we're looking at it right now, a tie in upcoming primary in Nevada. She has definitely started mouthing some of the same things that he's been saying, and she's definitely trying to pull herself back a little bit from being the establishment candidate. The danger is always mostly your supporters, your weak supporters, just staying home and saying, I'm not going to vote at all. And Trump is polarizing enough that he may scare off some independent centrists or even weak Democratic supporters. At the same time, if it's true that people are as pissed as they seem to be in this primary season, it's a real danger that Trump will pull more centrist votes than anyone would ever have imagined.
I mean, supposedly they're tied in the Nevada caucus, although they don't really poll that heavily because even pollsters admit that they have no idea of knowing how people are going to vote. In South Carolina, even with the new revised polls, Hillary is leading him by more than 20 points. I don't think it's fair to say that it's that tied up going forward. So I think there is a realistic possibility that you're going to see a Donald Trump-Hillary race, and in that case, I don't know, you're going to have a lot of independent voters that they're not going to vote for Hillary. Hillary doesn't appeal to independent voters. We're seeing that by how much Bernie Sanders is crushing her by in the margins among independent voters. It will be interesting because South Carolina is an open primary. So like New Hampshire, we might see a lot of independent voters come out and sway the vote. So we'll see. But as far as, do you want to say something, Peter?
Yeah, I just want to lay down a marker on South Carolina. I'm aware of how far ahead the polls are showing her. But keep in mind that her support has proven to be very volatile, particularly as you inch up toward these voting days. And in Nevada, I mean, as recently as December, I think she was ahead by 20 or 30 points over Bernie Sanders. Now, obviously, he doesn't have that much time going into South Carolina, but she is not on an uptrend at all. Nevada also has a fair number of Hispanic and African-American voters, and if Bernie is able to pull some of those in, that may also shift things in South Carolina. Look, if she goes into South Carolina with one loss and two ties, that is not the tsunami of support that she expected to go forward on.